Hey guys, it's Nathan again, and in today's video we're going to have a look at how Kygo's brand new remix of Paul McCartney's and MJ's Say Sasy was made. We're going to start with this massive drop piano used in the build-up as well as in the drop. This one consists of 5 piano layers, creating this aggressive smashing dance piano sound. 2 synth layers that add more warmth and a nice round low end to the chords, as well as a sub bass that makes the piano sound even fatter. All of this looks easy and sounds amazing at the end. But how did I go from a boring sound like this to this? As a special in today's video, I'm going to give you guys a crash course for layering drop pianos and making them sound massive, punchy and professional. Just like Kygo. Many producers don't know that Nexus pianos sound muddy, cheap and messy by default. But luckily there are a few tricks that I will show you to make them sound clean and professional. First, a lot of Nexus presets have long release time, which creates a really long sound tail. If you want to create something rhythmic and punchy, like drop pianos for example, you need to shorten it, otherwise it's just gonna sound really messy. Second, a lot of presets sound really dark because the velocity is linked to the filter cutoff. This means if you don't smash the notes on your MIDI keyboard, it will sound darker and more muddy. An easy fix for this is to simply increase the cutoff on the filter mod to max. And third, you will almost always need an EQ to clean the pianos up. I usually cut them at 3 spots. A low cut usually plays slightly higher than the lowest note, a little dip to get rid of the mud in the low end and the lower mids, and a slight boost in the higher frequencies. Underneath the pianos, it always helps layering in some warm and plucky chords, like these 2 chord sounds here. Now here's the most important tip. Before you start EQing the individual sounds and cleaning them up, you have to find the right layers first and adjust the volumes. This is in my opinion the most overlooked part about layering, and if not done correctly, it makes everything afterwards much more difficult. So next we're going to use some processing magic to make them smash in your face. I'm sending all my layers to a bus, then use a corrective EQ to get rid of some mud and make it more bright. Next, I'm adding the secret JJP Strings plugin for some super hard smash. And because that's not enough yet, we'll make it hit even harder by using the API compressor to increase the attack sound. I'm also adding a bit of extra reverb because the sound is too dry. And finally, a punchy sidechain curve using Shaperbox. But before this, I use a compressor inside Shaperbox that is constantly compressing the piano. This makes it sound even more heavy and big. Now let's compare them before and after. You can hear the processing really helped the overall sound, and we made an insanely massive drop piano. Next, we're coming to the square chord plug. I had to tweak and process this preset to make it pop a little more, as well as removing the mid channel from the stereo image to make space for the bass. In the drop, we're having this extremely dark synth brass sound, also called a reese bass. I made this one in Serum and also used it in my Freeze remake. This is a really interesting sound choice because it is so aggressive that it makes the entire drop sound extremely dark and evil. As always, we got Kygo's signature bass from Sylenth in here, playing a quite simple bass line with some octave jumps and additional notes. Usually I don't use much processing for this bass, but in this song it sounds a lot more processed, so I added some OTT and saturation on top, which makes the bass bang super hard. Next, we're adding this distorted slide guitar from Nexus, which is a very dominant sound in the drop. Kygo has used this preset in many songs before. One of Kygo's favorite production elements of the past years is using muted guitars. I used 2 drop fills from Hot Stuff here to recreate it and made them follow the notes of the distorted guitar by pitching the individual samples to the right note. This makes the entire drop so much more groovy and energetic. For the drums in the drop, I'm using the Houston kick together with 3 snare layers. During the entire drop, we got a shaker and hi-hat loop playing, and we got 3 more loops in the second half of the drop to make it feel even faster. For the drums in the build-up, I'm using a hi-hat loop from Hot Stuff that I shortened and used as a single one-shot, together with 2 crunchy snaps layered on top of each other. And right before the drop, I added the Dirty Oliver drum fill that I cut in the beginning. There's one more thing I haven't showed you yet, and that is the white noise layer on top of the drop pianos. This is an insanely cool trick to make the piano sound so much more clean, defined and punchy. By itself, it just sounds like this. But now listen closely to the drop pianos without and with the white noise. You can hear, without the white noise, they sound a lot more dark and muddy. This trick is so simple but so efficient. I use this in my remake of Never Really Loved Me and Freeze as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If so, leave a like and check out my other Kygo videos as well as the Hot Stuff drum production suite. If you want to listen to the full remake, you can find a link in the description. So thanks for watching and we'll see each other in the next video.